They show affection through actions, not words. For someone with an avoidant attachment style, expressing emotions verbally can feel risky, exposing, or even unnatural. Words like "I love you," "I miss you," or "I need you" may not come easily to them, even when those feelings are real. What they fear in open emotional expression, they often compensate for in subtle, consistent actions. For an avoidant, love doesn't announce itself. It shows up in the quiet corners of daily life, in small, meaningful gestures that speak louder than any words they could say. These actions are often thoughtful and practical. They may fix something you casually mentioned was broken. They might run errands for you, help solve a problem you're dealing with, or show up for you in moments of stress or uncertainty. These aren't favors, they're expressions of deep care. An avoidant might not say, "I'm thinking about you," but they'll remember how you take your coffee. They might not say, "I'm proud of you," but they'll make time to support your goal. These gestures may not look romantic on the surface, but for someone who struggles with vulnerability, this is their version of saying, "You matter to me." One of the clearest signs of their affection is in how they consistently try to make your life easier without seeking recognition. They pay attention, they notice when you're overwhelmed, tired, or anxious, and they quietly step in to help. Not with grand gestures, but with practical support that shows they're watching, listening, and caring. They might fix your car, bring you food, or take care of something on your to-do list. These acts are not just helpful, they are heartfelt. This form of expression is deeply rooted in the avoidant's preference for doing over feeling. They often trust actions more than emotions, so that's where they place their love. Showing up, helping out, remembering details, solving problems, these are their ways of maintaining closeness without confronting the emotional vulnerability that talking about feelings would require. Their care is deliberate, even if it appears understated. Their actions also reveal something else: safety. An avoidant will only extend themselves in this way if they feel secure with you. If you're receiving consistent, thoughtful behavior from them, it means you've become a source of stability, someone they trust enough to invest effort in. Their love may be cautious, but it's committed, and commitment for them is not proven by saying the right thing, it's proven by doing the right thing repeatedly. They also show affection by anticipating needs. They'll notice what stresses you out and try to prevent it before it happens. They may offer help before you ask for it. They may observe and remember what makes you feel loved, then quietly give it to you in their own way. This kind of emotional attunement is not accidental. It's born from a desire to connect without confronting the overwhelming weight of direct emotional exposure. Even in conflict, their actions can reveal care. They might not argue passionately or chase you down for resolution, but they may offer a peace gesture afterward, bringing you something you like, doing something kind, or simply returning with a calmer presence. These are not manipulations or avoidance tactics. They're attempts to bridge the gap in the only way they know how. So, when you're in a relationship with someone avoidant, the key is to shift your focus from what they say to what they do. Their words may be few, but their actions are meaningful. They may not express affection the way you expect, but their unique love language is no less real. If you begin to recognize the effort, the thoughtfulness, and the quiet consistency, you'll see that their heart is speaking all the time. It just speaks a different language. A language of doing, a language of commitment, a language of love in motion. They offer you their time even when it costs their comfort. For someone with an avoidant attachment style, time is not just a resource, it's a form of protection. They often guard their personal space and independence with firm boundaries. Alone time gives them a sense of safety and control. It's how they regulate their emotions and manage internal anxiety, but when they are in love, something shifts. They start doing something that feels unnatural for them. They choose to spend time with you, not out of obligation, but out of emotional investment. When an avoidant begins to prioritize your presence over their solitude, even occasionally, it's a meaningful gesture. This isn't just hanging out. This is them giving away the very thing that helps them feel secure. That sacrifice might not be loud or celebrated, but it's real. It shows that your presence offers them something their solitude doesn't: connection, emotional depth, and meaning. And that is a huge deal for someone who typically avoids intimacy. You'll notice it in how they begin to show up more consistently. They start joining you for errands, attending events they would usually skip, or simply sitting beside you in silence. These moments might not seem like traditional romantic gestures, but for an avoidant, they represent a major shift in behavior. They're choosing to be present even when their default would be to isolate, not because it's easy, but because it matters to them that they are with you. This is especially clear when they give you their time without being prompted. When they initiate contact or make plans, that initiative is packed with significance. Avoidants don't typically chase time with others. They value their routines, their privacy, and their personal boundaries. So when they disrupt those habits to make space for you, they're saying, in their own language, you're important enough to let you in. Sometimes their way of offering time might seem understated. They may not always say, "I want to be with you." Instead, they might invite you to do something simple: watch a movie, run an errand, go for a drive. But underneath the simplicity lies something much more powerful. They're asking you to be part of their world in a way that feels safe to them. They're offering the most personal resource they have: their attention and presence. It's also important to understand the emotional cost of this offering. Being around others for long stretches can drain an avoidant. Emotional availability doesn't come naturally. So when they spend time with you regularly, especially in emotionally open settings, it can be exhausting. Yet they continue to do it. They keep showing up, even when it costs them their comfort, their energy, or their carefully built emotional armor. That is love in motion. Time is the one thing we never get back. For avoidance, sharing time is not just about activity, it's about trust. If they begin to prefer your company over being alone, if they start looking forward to shared moments, it means you've become a source of peace rather than pressure. You are someone with whom they can exhale, someone who doesn't drain them, but gently draws them out. Even when they pull away briefly, because that tendency still exists, they often return, seeking time with you again. That return is a testament to the internal bond they've formed. Their heart keeps pulling them back to your presence because in you they find something they've never fully allowed themselves to feel before: emotional safety within connection. So if an avoidant starts giving you their time, cherish it. Recognize it for what it truly is: not a casual offer, but a deeply personal expression of care. They are trading comfort for closeness, and for someone who has spent so much of their life protecting themselves from intimacy, that gift is a profound sign that they are indeed in love. They let you into their private world. For someone with an avoidant attachment style, privacy is sacred. Their personal world, emotions, routines, inner thoughts, fears, habits, is typically closed off, even from people they interact with daily. They've spent years learning how to rely only on themselves, keeping walls high and doors shut tight. But when an avoidant begins to fall in love, those doors start to open, not all at once, not dramatically, but piece by piece, intentionally and meaningfully. Letting you into their private world doesn't always look like an emotional confession. Sometimes it's quiet and easily missed. They share their favorite song and tell you why it matters. They let you see their creative process, their morning routine, or their sacred alone time rituals. Maybe they show you a place they go to think, or introduce you to a pet, a hobby, or a part of their past they never talk about. These moments are not random. Their invitations carefully extended offers to step inside the space they rarely share with anyone else. For an avoidant, sharing personal parts of themselves isn't casual, it's vulnerable. It means giving up a bit of control, risking judgment, and making space for emotional intimacy. So when they begin to open up even in small ways, it signals something significant. They trust you. They feel safe enough to show you more than the surface version of who they are. That trust isn't built overnight. It's earned, and when it's given, it means you've reached a level of closeness few ever do. These invitations may come slowly and cautiously. An avoidant might first test the waters by sharing something small, a story from their childhood, an opinion they rarely express, or a personal habit. If you receive it without judgment, they offer more. With each layer they uncover, they're silently watching. Do you accept me as I am? Can I be safe here? When the answer is yes, their willingness to reveal grows, not because they're suddenly unafraid, but because love is now stronger than their fear. Another powerful way this unfolds is in how they let you witness their struggles. Avoidants are masters at appearing composed and in control. They often hide stress, sadness, or anxiety from others, but if they begin to let you see them when they're tired, stressed, or emotionally overwhelmed, it's not weakness, it's love. It means they no longer feel the need to hide everything from you. They're allowing you to be with them not just when things are perfect, but when things are real. Letting you into their world also includes physical spaces. Maybe they bring you into their home, show you their personal workspace, or allow you to see the environment where they feel most themselves. These are not just places, they are extensions of their inner life. Letting you in is their way of making you a part of their story, even if they can't fully articulate why or how. This kind of openness is one of the most powerful indicators of affection for an avoidant. Words may be difficult. Emotions may be hard to express, but letting you in, showing you their real self, says more than 1,000 "I love yous" ever could. It means you're not just someone they enjoy or admire. You are someone they're learning to be emotionally present with, someone they are willing to be fully seen by. So when you start noticing this shift, those shared memories, personal routines, private thoughts, and sacred spaces, know that you are not just gaining access. You are being trusted. You are being allowed into a world they've spent years protecting. And that silent, intentional choice is one of the deepest forms of affection they are capable of offering. They become protective of you quietly but fiercely. For someone with an avoidant attachment style, emotional expression doesn't come naturally, and open declarations of love may feel uncomfortable or even unsafe. But love has a way of leaking out through actions that are deeply instinctual, one of the clearest being protectiveness. When an avoidant starts to develop real feelings, they may not say, "I care about you," but they will show it through a sudden, almost unconscious desire to ensure your well-being, safety, and comfort. This protectiveness doesn't always look like bold or dramatic heroism. In fact, it's often subtle, practical, and easily overlooked if you're not paying attention. They might check in on you when you're sick, remind you to take breaks when you're overworking yourself, or quietly intervene when they sense you're uncomfortable in a social setting. They won't make a scene, but they'll stay close, they'll observe, and they'll act when it matters. Their protection isn't always physical, it's emotional, logistical, and situational. It's them trying to shield you from stress, from harm, or even from your own overwhelm. And avoidance protectiveness also reveals itself when you're not around. They may worry about you more than they admit. If they hear something concerning, they may discreetly look into it or offer help without making it obvious. If someone speaks negatively about you, they may defend you without telling you they did. They do these things not for recognition, but because their love has reached a level where your pain affects them. Your struggles aren't just yours anymore. They feel personally invested in helping you avoid hurt. This instinct often confuses people because it comes from someone who may otherwise seem distant or reserved. How can someone who avoids vulnerability act so concerned or involved? The answer lies in how love overrides avoidance in moments of urgency. While avoidants may be slow to open up emotionally, their protective instincts are immediate and powerful. When they love someone, that person becomes part of their inner world, and they naturally want to guard what matters to them. Their protectiveness also shows up in emotional ways. They might steer you away from things or people they see as toxic, even if they struggle to explain why. They may challenge you to rest more, speak up for yourself, or make choices that benefit your future. Their tone might be blunt or practical rather than emotionally soft, but the intention is rooted in care. It's not about controlling you. It's about making sure you're okay. They're trying, in the only way they know how, to be a shield. Sometimes their protectiveness comes with unexpected vulnerability. They may get upset or shut down when they feel powerless to help you or fix something for you. This reaction isn't about frustration with you. It's their internal discomfort with watching someone they care about suffer, especially when they don't know how to solve it. For an avoidant, protectiveness can be tied to competence. When they can't do something to protect you, it stirs anxiety and discomfort that's difficult for them to express. It's also worth noting that this kind of love isn't performative. They won't tell others how protective they are. They won't announce their concern or ask for thanks. Everything they do in this space is quiet, deliberate, and deeply personal. That's because their protectiveness is not for show. It's a language of care spoken in subtle gestures, cautious monitoring, and consistent support when it counts most. To the avoidant, love often feels safer when it's expressed through utility rather than vulnerability. And protectiveness gives them a way to show deep affection without having to expose their emotions directly. It's a way to stay close, to participate in your emotional world, and to matter in your life without confronting the rawness that vulnerability brings. So if you begin to notice these patterns, quiet interventions, calm observations, or behind the scenes support, recognize them for what they are. They're not just habits or personality quirks. They are signs that you've become someone they deeply care about. Someone they instinctively want to protect, even from afar. Their love might not be loud, but it's loyal. It might not be poetic, but it's powerful. And it speaks most clearly when you're in need, because when they protect you, they're showing you just how much you mean to them. They return after pulling away because they can't stay gone. For someone with an avoidant attachment style, pulling away is a natural and almost automatic defense mechanism. Intimacy often triggers deep, unconscious fears. Fear of losing autonomy, fear of being emotionally exposed, fear of being hurt. So even when an avoidant feels love, their first instinct might be to retreat. They create distance not because they don't care, but because caring deeply feels threatening. However, what separates someone who is casually attached from someone who is in love is what happens next they come back. This return is not just a behavioral loop. It's a profound emotional indicator. Despite their discomfort, their instinct to protect themselves, and their need for space, something pulls them back to you. That something is love. It's not a conscious choice, but rather a reflection of the bond they feel. Even after taking space to reset or disconnect, they reach out again. They initiate contact. They check in. They resurface because their emotional attachment to you is stronger than their fear of closeness. The pattern may repeat. One moment they seem engaged, connected, and present. The next, they seem cold or distant, unreachable even. But over time, a pattern becomes clear. They always come back. That return is not accidental. It's not them being indecisive or toying with emotions. It's the result of an internal battle between the comfort of avoidance and the desire for connection. Every time they return, it's a sign that you're not just another person in their life. You're someone they can't seem to stay away from, no matter how hard they try. This kind of push-pull behavior can be incredibly confusing to someone who doesn't understand the avoidant mind. From the outside, it may look like mixed signals, inconsistency, or emotional immaturity, but from the inside, it's a real and painful struggle. Love doesn't eliminate their fear. It just gives them a reason to face it. Each time they come back, they are, in their own way, choosing love over safety, choosing growth over retreat, choosing you. Their return is often quiet. It might be a short message, a casual check-in, or a random moment of contact. It may not come with explanations or emotional depth, but the act of returning itself carries meaning. It's them signaling that they still care, that they're still invested, and that they're still trying. For an avoidant, trying doesn't always look like vulnerability. It looks like effort. It looks like coming back when leaving felt safer. It's important to recognize that this cycle doesn't mean the relationship is unhealthy. In fact, the returning behavior, if met with patience and understanding, can evolve. Over time, their retreats may shorten, their returns may quicken, and their fear may begin to lose power. Love doesn't cure avoidance overnight, but consistent safety and acceptance can help them rewire their emotional responses. They may never be the type to stay constantly close, but they can learn to stay longer, leave less, and communicate more. Their return also reflects inner growth. After time away, they often reflect on their actions, miss the connection, and realize that the space didn't feel as good as they expected. That realization is painful but transformative. It teaches them that love is not the threat they once believed it to be. That emotional closeness, while uncomfortable, is worth pursuing when the person on the other side is someone who understands their pace and respects their process. When an avoidant returns after pulling away, they are not just returning to you. They are returning to themselves. They are stepping back into the vulnerability they've always feared, drawn by the pull of real emotional connection. That movement is not weakness, it's courage, and each time they come back, they're taking one more step toward intimacy, one more step toward trust, and one more step toward lasting love. So, if you've ever wondered whether an avoidant truly cares, look to their return. In their silence, there may be fear. But in their return, there is love, quiet, conflicted, but undeniable.